What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the TCG Scrubs podcast. Another week. Here with the usual dudes, Team ARG's Colin and Joe of Joe's Corner.
Hey there, guys.
And as usual, everything here brought to us this week by Happy Little Hug Factory. You can visit them in the link description down below and pick up some singles, which I think Colin was telling me the singles are up now. And Buylist is updated as well. So they're looking for some of your singles you might have you're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, they're, like I said, buying Strange New Valhalla singles. Looks like, I scanned through it real quick. Looks like really nice pricing for a lot of cards. A bunch that I might have extras of, so maybe I'll look into that. I have to sort my cards, see what I have extras of. But, I haven't had a chance to look what singles they have, because there's a couple cards that I kind of want. But I still got to, like I said, sort my cards to see what, make sure I don't actually have them and everything, and then I'll go through that list. But make sure you go like that, do the buy list first if you have extras you want to get rid of, and then use that money to get some singles off of there.
And if you guys are looking to get singles or even looking to sell some of your cards and you ever have an issue with the price and you are looking to sell, message them, send them an email, do something like that, and contact them. Because sometimes, you know, they can't always keep up with, say, like the price spikes and different things like that. Like all of a sudden tomorrow this one card's worth nothing and it's going for, you know, $5, or they're only paying this much. Different things, you know, and they can be in communication with you.
Yeah. And make sure you click that link in the description so we know we sent you guys over as well.
Yeah,
they know that we know that they know.
Helps us out. But also to our patrons over at patreon.com/TCGscrubs. They also help a lot of things, you know, come together. We'll be definitely visiting more GPs than we normally would have, and have some cool stuff on the way, which we mentioned in last week's Patreon podcast. And hopefully. And again, you become a patron at patreon.com/TCG. Link is in the description below. Just check it out. You can also find all our other social media links down there. We've been having a lot of people jump into our Discord, which is cool. And some people follow me on Twitter, which that's me controlling that. So if you ever see me liking your posts, like somebody had pulled it was a secret rare, right? And it had the blotches on it. No, that was on Facebook. You tagged me in that. Somebody pulled the full art of, I think, Anubis, and they're saying how it was better than the regular art, which they also pulled, which I agree. That's
I like all the secret rare art, but yeah, for the blotches, that was something that I had showed you at the pre-release for. It was an uncommon full art, and it had blotches on it. And Taylor Norris had messaged me. I can't remember. I think he had some with blotches on it. And he also had bent and damaged cards as well, which I thought was interesting. I'm not sure if that's that one's hard to tell if that's from shipping or printing, how they package it or something like that, you know. But I think he had some that had blotches. I kind of want to double check, but I will wait. But
I know I noticed this color difference. I'll put it up on the screen right now, marking the time at 3:48.
Oh, is that the blue purple color?
It's the purple. It's the same card in the same area, and I sorted my cards.
Same rarity.
And it's putting all things together, and I'm not sure where it came from either. Like if it was a difference,
and that's something.
That came in the previous kit, or that came in my main box, or it came from one other box. I was kind of talking. You kept trying to talk, man. All right, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say that was something you had pointed out. You were talking about pre-release versus regular box. Well, we had the. Which one did we have first? The regular box or something like that? And you had pointed out that the full art and the regular art were different coloring, it looked like, between two cards. And that was something I actually saw in the U.S. group, where people were coming in and affirming that for some reason the full arts were not as true coloring as the regular arts, and we're not sure why that is. I don't remember that being a problem in NDR. So I'd be curious to know why that is. Maybe this was a rush. Maybe something happened and that the set was delayed to the printer, and that's why we had the secret rare print error where it says higher defense than it's supposed to, and we have the blotches and we have the colors wrong and stuff like that. Maybe this was a last minute rush job or something like that. But go ahead.
No, see, it could have also just been the quality control issue that just slipped by.
Well, if it was rushed, maybe they instead of checking 1 out of every 3 boxes, I don't know how. Obviously, it's not that much, but they did 1 out of every 6 just to maintain quality control.
What if it wasn't that it was rushed? It just quality control slipped. You know, it happens.
Yeah, well, it seems like a lot. I don't remember seeing really anything for NDR about this, and I feel like ours were, with the exception of the splotchy one, pretty good overall. Although I don't have as good of an eye for the color differences. So maybe all my cards are different colors, and I don't know. But it's unfortunate to see with that. And I also haven't checked the corners to see if there's any damaged cards as well. But I hope it's not. I hope it's just an isolated thing in a couple places and not a consistent thing. Like 1 out of every 10 boxes have crappy cards. That would suck. But,
I was going to say something, and I don't remember anymore.
What does the corner feel like, Joe?
What?
Joe's corner.
Oh.
Joe's corner. That was a reference for you guys. He has this corner called Joe's Corner, and I was referencing that when I said corner.
He has some stuff you were going to work on, right? Oh, yeah, you want to do a skit. Colin skit. I also want to talk about his skit as well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. But, Joe, do you have ideas? Do you have any ideas you want from people or just stuff that you kind of create on your own? For Joe's Corner? Yeah.
I
think people really...
I thought Colin was like completely joking about like the whole corner thing and not actually like getting into a serious talk about it. I don't know yet. I had one idea, which was to like showcase like some kind of table flip deck, which we'll talk about later. But I don't know what else I would want to like talk about. It's hard for me to like come up with ideas, and then when I do, I act on them, and then Oscar takes like 4 weeks to edit them, so then they're stale and don't matter anymore.
I had to edit it because 1, Colin's busy, and 2, Joey doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
Colin's busy because Joey gave me his video for teaching week, which was straight up not edited. Oscar edits the audio, sends it over to me, and then I do. I
didn't know how that works. Okay, you guys didn't tell me.
I just said
anything.
No. Joey's acting like he would have edited the audio if he knew otherwise. This is
no, but I wouldn't have sent you a video because I don't even think you're using that.
Well, I didn't download the video. I just downloaded the audio.
Right, but see, I could have just redone the whole thing and just talked into the mic instead of like actually recorded the video. Is my thing.
So Joey is saying like it could have been even easier for me. I feel like that's what's.
But like Oscar never told me how he did his teaching videos, and then I didn't end up watching.
We linked it. We literally you specifically Joey specifically postponed writing it for so long because he wanted to reference Oscar's video so he knew how to do his, and then now he's saying like I didn't know how Oscar did his when he specifically postponed, which is bad for me because it takes me forever to edit. And because Joey.
This is fair, but I watched the intro to Teaching Week, which I thought was going to be the format, and it was just Oscar talking into the camera and stuff. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. So yeah. My bad.
He's also acting like he recorded it right after that Teaching Week video.
No, but I didn't watch it.
There's a lot of factors going into this right now.
Anyways, I think next time I can definitely edit it a little bit faster. Just don't as much as you did in the last one.
No.
And
that's not gonna happen.
And also people really like that you did like that deck profile and you really broke it down in spite of making one mistake.
Yeah, no, it seemed like people responded to it pretty well and liked it.
So. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I think
you should talk about what you should do, Joe. You should make a legit like video essay, and it talks about the art of balance. And so you talk about like what constitutes cards being balanced, overpowered, underpowered, what factors go into that. Is a card overpowered if it's a singular? Is it still overpowered if it's average by itself but combined with other cards makes it godlike? Is that specific card overpowered still? You could like do a whole video talking about all that stuff.
I don't know. I always get into my own head because I don't think I'm qualified to like do a lot of that stuff. Like I don't think I'm qualified to like do a video essay about like card balance and stuff when a lot of that stuff like I don't know. I don't think I have a good grasp on it myself. So when I talk about it, I'm just talking out my ass.
Well, you're talking at the level of everyone watching, so you're not like talking over people. I think, which is the strength of it. It doesn't have to be necessarily accurate. It's kind of like how we talk about stuff. We talk about card balance, card power, and oppressiveness in the realm of the local level, and that's not necessarily applicable at the actual competitive levels where people grind out these nice decks. When you go to your locals, someone just needs to play I don't know, Time Spinning Witch with the lockout, and no one who's not competitive is going to be running counters to that, so they just don't get to play the game and then they're done. At the competitive level, it's still strong, but there's counters to it. People are expecting it. It's a whole different atmosphere. So you can talk about card balance in the sense of the local level and what entices players versus what pushes them away.
Yeah, I guess, but it's just like if I was gonna watch a video and like the guy is just talking about something that I know about, and he's just wrong about a lot of the stuff, then I just why would I like watch the video? Like if I'm like a filmmaker and I'm watching this guy, do his, talk about like lighting and stuff, and he gets like a bunch of stuff wrong, then I'm just gonna close the video. So I guess that's just my issue is like, if I'm talking about stuff, I want to talk about stuff that I'm confident about, and I'm not really confident about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So we made a table flip video.
We're not there yet.
Oh.
I was actually going to give a little shout out real quick to Ruler School because I'm really interested. Their video came out yesterday, so hopefully it was really good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Their podcast, they're going to do like a Family Feud thing, and they had released a survey out, which was really cool. It had like things like your favorite ruler, sexiest ruler, what was the favorite race, and things like that. So I kind of want to see what they do with that.
Favorite resonator race, not it inside of the game.
And they're just trying to get as many votes as they could. So I'm really excited to see that.
I told Brandon, I was like, you guys should do this for like everything. You should do a Force of Will Jeopardy, a Force of Will Wheel of Fortune, and stuff like that. This is such a cool idea. When they said that, I was like, that's actually whoever came up with that idea. I really like that. That's going to be super fun to watch.
They keep it interesting. They like do like drawing games where like somebody will pick a card and draw it, and you got to guess what it is.
First off, two things. One, yeah, it's okay. Two, you mean like that thing that we did, Oscar?
What?
I remember
like, Oscar draws stuff.
Oh no, they're just doing essentially a picture.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, it's picture, but. I like what we did better. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was okay. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, because Oscar was got all embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't like drawing. Having everybody see it.
I don't like drawing, says the guy going to free college for drawing.
Yeah, I think I'm more critical of myself than I guess I should be, but yeah.
I don't think we ever got a dislike on those videos.
No.
Would you?
But I still didn't like seeing it.
Did they put the survey on Facebook? Or
yes, Facebook.
Or was it just like a YouTube?
Yeah.
They hit up as many Facebook groups as they could. I think they shared it on Twitter.
If they get enough answers, then obviously they have to make sure they don't look at the answers.
I think Brandon
is
as judge and collecting the answers.
Okay. I asked who the Steve Harvey was, and Brandon said he was.
Because if somebody puts down, say Sylvia as a ruler, but then puts down like whatever her other name is on the other side, like it's the same ruler, you know what I'm saying? So like somebody has to collect all that data and put it together.
Yeah, and he's filtered out. He said they have a thing when you fill out the form, so he knows if you like double submitted and stuff like that to filter stuff out.
So it's not like it wasn't like a Facebook basic survey. It was like an actual link to a big survey.
It was a Google survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Like the way the company does their surveys.
Yeah, that should make.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I did want to mention there's been this question popping up a lot all over Facebook, and just to help everybody understand it better is like the number of runes or cards that you can run between the rune deck and main deck. So if you have what's one of them? What's like Hanzo's table flip, right? Mm-hmm. You can run 1 in your rune deck and then 3 in the main deck because then you split between 4. Or if you don't run any in the rune deck, you can just put 4 in the main deck.
Yeah.
So make sure
you can think of it like your side deck. Your side deck, you can have 2 cards, like 2 table flips in your main deck and 2 in your side deck. You can't have 4 in your side deck and 2 in your main deck. The total must always, for all cards across all your decks, equal 4. Unless otherwise stated, like Crop Strike, obviously. But it must always equal 4. And it's still applicable for the rune deck. So you could have 1 in your rune deck, 2 in your main deck, and 1 in your side deck. And that's 4. And you can't have any more anywhere else in any other deck type thing. So it seems weird at first. But once you think of it, like how the rules already are for your side deck, stone deck, everything, it's all universally applies.
Yeah. So hopefully you understand that a little bit better. Super quick thing. I also like how
we have a video too.
Hey, I'm going to pick the oldest card that had multiple ofs in the deck instead of picking the one that came out in this set that everybody would understand.
No one cares
especially
about that one.
Especially that's new to the game.
No one cares about that
Parallel
one.
World Trilogy, guys.
No one cares about it.
He only had 2 options though, and Croco Shark is like I don't even know what the actual card name is for this Schrodinger.
Croco Shark is
Parallel
what
World
birthed
Schrodinger.
this channel. Our literally
Croco
first
Shark.
video was Croco Shark, so
Yeah,
I feel
yes,
like
it was.
it has to be referenced.
And then Robe of the 12 Apostles, or whatever it's called, right? Water.
Oh yeah, I can do 12.
Not 12 Apostles. It's the 12 Robe, which throw me off between 12 Apostles, but 12 Robe, but the water one. What's it called? Water Kimono. Of 12 parts.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Water Kimono of 12
Water
parts.
Yeah.
See, I remember it.
I forgot about that.
So there's
Somewhere
another
along the way, that
example.
bridged over to the 12 apostles.
I don't know.
Go, my bunnies and my 12 apostles. One of you better be super loyal, I swear to God.
Basically, just like make a deck right
Or I swear to me.
That's why we didn't get more rabbits. I also have
that's
a note
true.
here for GP Osaka, which was last week, and I don't think we talked about it, but it's also not as relevant because the ban list is hit. So, but the big point.
And the
did we
news
talk
set
about it?
came out.
Maybe we did. That Panda did so
we
well.
Talk about it because
Okay.
it says
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Because we talked. I feel like we talked about pandas.
I didn't talk about it. And
I don't think we broke it down the way we normally do, where we sit there and go over the list and stuff like that. That's what it was. But
You know
you
what? Yeah. We did talk about it, and I want to talk about it more, but we just like kind of. I think we did kind of pass over.
Maybe it was the tail end of the podcast. Yeah.
Well, if we go to this next subject quicker, then we can probably just go and touch on that at the very end. So if you guys don't want to hear it, you have to stop while listening there. Anyways,
let's start talking about it now. Let's just bring it up and then...
just soon.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
All right, next one up is the errata that took effect. Takes effect. Wait, it took effect already, right?
Yeah.
Is it immediate effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It changed in the database, so I assume it's immediate.
Yes.
Okay. Which three cards changed, right? 3.
Yeah.
Yes. Technically.
Table
Yeah.
flip,
It's not.
Dragon.
So the
Yeah.
first,
Table flip, sand dragon, and
Sand Dragon,
what's
which
her
that was
face?
awesome. So that's one thing everybody noticed when the
I'm really
Sand Resonator thing was introduced. That Sand Dragon wasn't a Sand Resonator, which now he is.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
sand dragon. What race is it? Dragon. It's like, what? It was the weirdest thing. So whether that was a typo or there was a solid community reaction, or like, ooh,
No.
yeah.
I think what happened. My gut reaction is that they created Surtur before knowing that they were going to be making sand resonators. So like Sand Dragon wasn't a sand resonator, but then when they made Surtur, they were like, oh shoot, we didn't make Sand Dragon a sand resonator because that wasn't a thing at the time. I mean, it's iffy because like you would think that Surtur would have been like created
If we
around
were-
the same time.
If we were 3 sets in, maybe, but the set
Right.
after,
I don't know.
So.
Well, see, that's why I'm like not really too confident about it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's 2 total cards. The other one was just being table flip, but that was 3. It was 3 in the list. I got confused with.
No. There's three erratas. It's the sand dragon, the table flip, and the secret rare of Athenia.
It
that's
was
yeah.
the
I'm just
defense
correcting
ones.
that.
Yeah, which everyone knew already, but it's
Mhm.
just to have it in the ethos.
And the change of table flip was it changes the word on prevent it to instead it does something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the wording which helped, I believe, get around Scarlet's
Preventing damage.
J ruler side of preventing damage.
That's technically all that changed.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone made any videos about table flip.
Yeah, so on table flip, at the point of this errata, like everybody kind of posted on Facebook and social media things, and then like people started to realize, oh, this card's really strong, because I don't think anybody realized how it was supposed to work until all the judges kind of came in and go, like, no, it does this, and then this. Which, Colin, go ahead and explain it. You made the video about it.
Yeah, Joey has some words about this.
I had a lot of words, but
Explain it, Oscar.
you just told you to explain it.
Oh, did he tell me?
I'll
Yes.
explain.
Did you tell me to explain? Okay, so
Yeah.
table flip. No, because Joy's gonna get all sloopy.
No, it's
So
not
basically,
crazy.
so table flip is what if damage
That's
is
not how
dealt
it's
to
You're butchering it, Colin.
when damage is dealt to something, table flip prevents it, does 500 damage to your opponent.
Doesn't prevent it, Colin. You're already messing up.
Instead
If
of
it
dealing
prevented it, how
damage.
would-
Yeah.
It's like you didn't even read the errata.
I'm just giving the nutshell, Joey. And so basically how it works now, or how it's interpreted to work via the CR and stuff like that, is basically if you do something like, say, I don't know, a free card like Sandstorm that does 200 to each resonator, and your opponent has 4 resonators. I don't know why 4 resonators became the go-to. I feel like it's either 3 because that's a normal deck, or 5 because once you go past 3 is when you have a resonator deck. Mm-hmm. I don't know how we settled on 4, but we'll go with 4. It counts it as preventing each instance of damage. So it goes prevent, damage. So you would, for one wheel, deal 2,000 damage to your opponent. If they had 4 resonators, if they had 5 resonators, you're doing 2,500. If they have 3 resonators, you're doing 1,500, etc. So at the absolute worst, it's 500 damage, which is a 1-cost lightning strike, which is what lightning strike is.
Now, to give everybody further background on this, it was discovered because somebody said, "Oh, there's an errata." It's actually Brandon, your teammate. He said there's an errata, and it fixes it and prevents it from doing that. And that's when all the judges started chiming in, saying, no, that's not true. It's still going to do that. This is just wording to get around Scarlet's ability, yada, yada, yada. Everybody starts to realize, oh, this is how the card's supposed to work. Mm-hmm. So, which Joey has kind of argument against it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just, like...
Getting into internet fights.
And I was kind of like, wait, like, that sounds kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't really see that worded as a card, but then once you kind of go into the CR and they talk about how, like, the 200 damage is dealt to all the resonators, and then table flip creates like a replacement effect for every single instance of damage. So like for this 200 damage, in order to stop the damage, not prevent it, but it creates a replacement effect and deals 500 damage for that instance of damage, and so that's why it deals 500 instances of damage. So like, and I thought it was really dumb. And then Stephanie and I got into quite a heated argument about it. My issue with it is that like it's so like she started off, and obviously I shouldn't get too deep into the argument, but like she claimed that it was like a one-time combo. And it's like, but it's actually
she wasn't talking about how the card works. She was talking about the relative power level of the card as reference for you guys.
We had talked about like that's how the card works, and that's how all the judges and I think even like the grand judge or whatever, they pretty much already ruled all that. So it's like stuck in stone for now that this is how the card works. So now the only thing to talk about is getting it fixed, or like how much of an effect it's going to have.
No, I think which in response to Steph's like saying it's not that big of a deal that in white you have life gain, and like black has card removal, so you're expected to pluck these cards like table flip out of your opponent's hand, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, her thing and a lot of other people's discussion about it is that like, well, there are counters to it, and
the answer to a super strong card is never just printing counters. We've literally had counters technically for every broken combo in the game. We've had counters technically for Reflector Frame, for Fox, for Prisha. They all had direct counter cards printed in them at more than one color, but that doesn't matter if the power level is off the charts. I'm not saying that this necessarily is off the chart. Well, yeah, I am saying it's off the charts, but it's that doesn't. Go ahead, Joey.
So my issue was like, her original, like, she had posted that, oh, it's just a one-time combo, and then I kind of came back and like, obviously you can flip Hanzo and flip your table or your Sandstorm back around. You can also just run 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 copies of Sandstorm in a Hanzo deck, and then like I kept referencing Aaron Miles' first place deck at
Ryan.
Which GP?
Yeah.
Hold on. Ryan Miles was at Orlando, mm-hmm. And it's like that deck can create like multiple colors of mana with CL and with Kotaro, and so it's like it's already like a first place deck, and you're just giving the deck more toolboxes. Like you're giving it another like game winning combo piece, and like so my issue was just like people were being way too like hand wavy about it. Like, oh no, this isn't going to do anything. It's just a one time combo. Like, oh, there are answers to it. Like, yeah, sure there are, but it's still, in my opinion,
which I thought was weird because, yeah, it like even if it's not going to, I don't know if it would or not, but even if it didn't break the game or anything like that, like I said, at worst it's a 1-cost lightning strike, which is a lightning strike inside of a green deck. But at normal or best, you should never have a 1-cost card that can do anything over 500 damage, especially in anything outside of red. The fact that you could, let's say you physically can never do this more than once per game, and you pay 1 will and you do 2,000 to your opponent. You're like, well, at least I could only do that once. It's like, you just halved your opponent's health. That's a ridiculous amount. It doesn't matter if you only did it once. That's still, say you're only physically allowed per CR to do that move once per game. That's still too strong.
They created an entire ruler and an entire ancient magic like counters and stuff in order for Mars to do 2,000 damage. Like that was his.
Well, again, Mars get out here Soul to do 2,000.
Well, no,
damage.
Mars was the first one, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's just like that was an actual one-time 2,000 damage thing, and it took a lot of setup. This is like actually relatively easy. Has low like cards and is like,
and I played Soul for a long time, and I only ever got the 2,000 damage off once in the entire time I played him. But the deck was, in order to get that 2,000 to be consistent and work right, had to, by definition, be a little bit more clunky than usual, which was fine for me because it made it more fun by making it more clunky because of the different things it could do, like the 2,000 damage to your opponent. That was a lot of fun. This isn't. There's nothing about this that is clunky. Every card in here, it's not like Table Flip needs Ancient Magic counters to work, or Sandstorm needs a Table Flip in order to work. Let's say, assume you don't have the combo, you still got Sandstorm to do 200 to your opponent's field. You still have Table Flip with its couple combos that still work fine, just blanket on their own. And then if you happen to combo, you happen to do 2,000 to your opponent. If your opponent has a token deck and happens to have 8 Resonators on the field, then whoopsie daisy, I just won the game by accident for 1 will. It's like, it's silly. It's just silly. And the point I said at the very beginning of looking at the local level, this is like would be devastating at the local level because people aren't going to. The main counters for this are in yellow, which is the damage prevention and the life gain. And the life gain doesn't matter if they do 4,000 to you.
If you don't just go green yourself, yeah.
Yeah, the other counter obviously is Table Flip.
Yeah, and or cancels like Ferris wheel. But I was afraid with this that people are going to start doing that, and then I started thinking about locals. Like, great, what am I going to build? Like, I want to build just a Lucifer deck or a Brunhild deck or even like the silly cat deck I was talking about. Like, but I'm afraid of going to locals and somebody being like, I'm going to build the green deck. I'm bringing Hanzo Machines.
And we're about to break away from green with Time Distortion canceled. I felt like this was the chance for us to break away because you're not required to run Lord anymore. But if this turns out to be super strong, maybe not at the competitive level, but definitely ARG and down, people would gravitate toward green again.
I hadn't even really been thinking about it in terms of locals, but you guys are right that like especially trying to explain how this ruling works to people is just gonna feel terrible. Like it's like there's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, this makes like time distortion is really gay, but at least I understand why I'm getting time distortion. This is like you go to that the Facebook page and the arguments and stuff, and you have 10 people who are just like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this isn't how I read the card. This isn't how it should be working.
It's not intuitive, yeah.
Right, exactly. It's not intuitive, and getting this combo played against you is just gonna feel like shit.
It's like that in between phase between end phase and recovery, where you could technically play something, but it's that weird phase, and it's nothing about that. Yeah, it's nothing about that is intuitive or something you would ever know. And I feel like this is the same way. Even the way it's worded to a passive person, even more than passive. Joey has been playing Magic for a while and Force of Will for as long as we have, and he didn't read it like that. I didn't read it like that at first, even after people were saying it. It's nothing natural about the way it's worded that gives that impression that it would replace every single instance and then blow up your opponent's face.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll stay like this. I think a lot of people were saying that the judges are even trying to fix it too, and people are on it. So
and the good news is, and so nobody.
It might even be fixed already,
right? Is that Jeff came through a day later saying, "Hey, stop PMing me. I get it. I'm talking with the company right now." So they're seeking answers. They're trying to figure things out right now. So. Hopefully, by the time this came out, it's already fixed, and then this whole podcast is irrelevant.
We'll see.
Well, I think I think our arguments are general enough to apply to any broken card going or anything like that, any combo going forward.
In the meantime,
just like good rules of thumb.
I do think there's some really cool like table flip burn decks you could brew. Like I was looking at like using that a list, and then there's like you could either do Sandstorm, or there's also I was looking at see, the issue is like you only have 4 table flips, so like you can't put in like multiple field wipes, like it's pretty much just Sandstorm and table flip, because there's I was looking at what was it called, there was that what's his name's rune, or not rune, spell, I'm butchering this.
Yeah, you are. Well, there's stuff, especially in like Wanderer, there's stuff that like just like pings everything for like 100 damage and weird stuff like that would work great with table flip if it worked that way.
That's when I was.
Yeah.
But when I was talking about like pings everybody.
So I was at work when we were finding all this out, and so Melissa messaged the group and was like, you guys should do a skit where you're like, table flip, and then you flip a table, an actual table. And I was like, I guess we could film that tonight pretty quick. And so I got home, and Melissa and I set up a table in the living room, and I pulled out the nice fancy camera. I didn't use my phone for it. Didn't pull out the lighting kit. In hindsight, I probably should have just dragged the lights out too, but oh well. And we filmed us like a little skit that we did that's on our channel, which actually is doing pretty well. 4 people hated it apparently, but
well, they hated it. They probably just didn't like it.
Yeah, you have to hate something to like go out of your way to go. Click.
To be fair, 3 of those people disliked it. One of them was me. So.
No, it was just Joey on 4 different accounts, just disliking it.
But yeah, we flipped the table. Don't worry, I replaced that full art table flip. I took it off the table before we flipped it, just in case. The cards all the cards came out fine. I was surprised. The hay went, and all the cards like landed perfectly flat, and the table was propped by some of the playmats, so the table never hit the ground fully, so that it didn't have a chance to smash any cards. So I was like, oh nice. And then our cat came over and started clawing at the playmat, and it was great.
It's adorable.
So you should pick it up right away, man.
Yeah,
but that was fun.
A pretty good skit, and we're thinking of doing more skits.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? If we did some more skits, just a little thing here and there showing up.
I don't care what they think. It got a lot of views, so we'll do more of those.
like Colin's whole his like forcible commercial did really well, and this table flip little skit did pretty well. So
people like cheese. They love it.
Yeah. People. That should be a T-shirt. People like cheese.
Yeah,
Oscar what?
Well, Oscar didn't think the cheese would. He thought both of those were. Like,
I never think the cheese is gonna work, but
that should also be a shirt. I never think Oscar.
Or I never think the cheese will work. So it's even weirder.
Which our infomercials are most like video we've ever made, which is cool.
That's crazy.
It's very funny because like both of those.
Not our most disliked.
It's definitely a certain type of humor that people enjoy. Hopefully.
I'd be curious. I wonder if I want to find out if there's a way to arrange this by dislikes. I want to see what our most disliked video
I'm pretty sure
is.
you can. On the newer that beta creator.
Oh.
I think that one does it.
I don't want to click on it because I'm afraid it'll permanently switch us to it.
Yeah.
Here, try Studio Beta. I'll click on it. But so we're talking about it, and Oscar looked, and I but a while back we had wanted to do skits. We had actually typed up. Actually, I'll pull up some of it because we had typed out
while you
a bunch of skits.
I'll talk about it. We wanted to do a video on this one he's talking about, where it's what like the most common things that what Force of Will players end up saying a lot.
Oh, I was thinking of doing one of those too, except like Magic or just like card game players in general, because like there's a lot of really funny Magic terms too.
Yeah, like I'd seen this before on the Magic video about Loading Ready Run. Which I got to meet this weekend, which was really cool, and go to a panel of theirs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Got a T-shirt and everything.
You got to meet him? Did you get a signature from any of them?
No, I didn't. Just talk to him. I want to take a card and have them sign it, and then I got there, and I was like, I forgot the cards. I completely forgot them. But anyways.
Yeah. So you can tell the date of this, because... So this is let me paint the picture. So it would be two people playing a game, and one person will play down Hook and bounce 2 special magic stones, and the person will be like, "God dang it, Hook is so overpowered," and it'll cut and show what they're playing, and they're playing Prisha OTK, the original one. So that was one of the skits, and it's way funnier than it sounds. Like if we filmed that, you guys would be like, "Oh." It's kind of like if I explained our skit at the beginning of our sabotage video. If you guys don't know, we did a couple, or was it only one? I've only done one.
We only did one.
Video. We were going to do more of this series called Sabotage, where it was the thing I made up, where we made the decks for each other. And so you'd be sabotaging each other. And there were some ground rules to make sure that it was still a playable deck. You couldn't like give them all green stones and an all red deck, stuff like that. And so we made a skit at the beginning, and like I'm sure if I like said that skit out loud, it probably doesn't sound very funny. Of like,
yeah,
I try to remember. I don't even fully remember it,
like,
but just Google Sabotage TCG Scrubs, and you guys could pull up that skit at the very beginning.
Just go look it up on our page.
But
pretty much any another like, skit you talk to and like try and like talk the joke out, just gonna sound really unfunny.
Yeah. So these ideas are about another 1.5 to 2 years old that you're listening to.
Another one was going to be. I don't actually know where I was going with this. It's about how we need to ban Levitine, and then in parentheses I put a clip of Levitine is balanced. I don't know what was going on there that was supposed to happen in that skit, because I sure didn't think Levitine was balanced. So Oscar must have come up with something he thought was hilarious.
It was probably like super like sarcastic, and like Prisha's like swinging in or something the turn she comes down, or something super sarcastic, and then I was like, man, Levitine's so balanced.
Or just capturing the two sides of people talking like, oh, it's balanced, oh, it's broken, oh, it's balanced.
Oh yeah,
it could have been that too.
We already wrote down what could be a recurring joke. We put it. One was going to be a skit of someone playing Fifth Scene, and they put down their second card, and they're like, all right, that generates a token, and then I'll pay 1 for Gwyber, pay 1 for Gwyber, pay 1 for Gwyber, and the video would just fade out as they keep saying that.
Actually does sound pretty funny.
There's like 1 or 2 others that are pretty dated. Others are generic enough that they'll probably last forever for Force of Will.
But yeah.
Continue, Jay.
We brainstorm quite often. Just some things just don't execute all the way it happened, and we have all these partial emails and things. Like I think there's a draft email on our email account of things Joey was going to work on.
To be fair, we Zach and I had also been thinking of like doing like skits and stuff, and we actually did do one, and it's like the final like. It was like the very last Joe's Corner there. I'd quote parentheses.
Yep. That
we ended up doing, and I don't think a lot of people really enjoyed it. But it was like, and then we were also gonna do like anime slice of life stuff. So like not really Force of Will based, because he wanted to make a whole new channel and stuff. But I had a couple of skit ideas.
This is a pretty detailed thing that you're supposed to do. I'm just looking at the video idea.
Oh.
The draft.
Which one?
It's on our email under drafts. It's really long. A bunch of points. I think it was probably a magic conversion video, which you ended up doing. Well, he's about to release soon.
Yeah, it should release through. God damn, I was supposed to release the videos, but it just took longer. And then I also got some side video stuff, not really TCG Scrubs, that just bogged me down hardcore. So, yeah, you know how life is.
On our email, Oscar?
Yeah, under drafts.
Oh,
Anyways,
got it.
one last subject I think right before we finish up here, like shouldn't take too long, is I remember what we were going to talk about, Colin, when I said there was a topic I wanted to cover, and I had to go check my saved threads thing on Facebook, and it was somebody who was asking what to expect when going to a GP.
Right.
And I thought this would be a really good thing to cover for some new players. Maybe somebody could tell them in the comments or whatever, jump to the end for this part.
Well, we had a I had made a YouTube video about it a while back. I don't know if it'll still be relevant or not. You remember it, right?
I don't.
Is that for GPs or is that for?
It was for GPs. Let me just look it up. But go ahead, Oscar, if you want to start that.
So yeah, I started off with saying that for the most part, when it came to your normal GPs or Grand Prix, they're held in convention centers. So I know, accounting for this part of it, what to expect. And usually it's a 9 a.m. registration time. Just pay attention to what that registration time is. And that's usually when they're going to open up the line and allow people to start filtering in, paying their costs. It usually was $20, and you'd get a promo and a playmat, and you just make your way into the convention center hall, and you'd sit down and you'd wait. You would also want to make sure you have your deck list filled out, because once 10 o'clock rolled around, they would put up, I think registration closed sometime around there, right? Registration eventually closes, and they'll announce it, which allows them to create a list of how to sit down. It's usually alphabetical. And they'll put the list up, and everybody sits down. And it's kind of where you bring out your deck lists and present them so that the judges can come up and start picking up all the deck lists throughout the whole event. And that's what you're locked into, is that deck list you turned in, so they can go deck check them in the background while they get ready for round one and play onwards. So once you've done this seating arrangement and you turn in your deck list, you'll then wait just a few more minutes. They'll do their kind of a, what do they call it, player meeting, going over like the rules, things to expect, how to handle a judge or a situation where you need a judge, where the judges are, who the judges are. What else is there? I feel like I thought he would have something that he was listening. I guess he wasn't listening. Anyways,
no, I'd found the video instead of the strike. It wasn't. It's for how to get ready for a sealed GP, and because you know,
Colin's like, oh,
yeah. I saw that, and I started getting super mad again. And I was like,
Anyways, that's pretty much the head judge is doing this announcement. He's just telling you things. Maybe don't forget that things are banned, or don't forget a certain interaction that was maybe newly realized, like the way flip. Like if a GP was happening right now, they'd remind you about table flip and how it worked, and things like that. Then you just get ready.
And there's a chance for you to ask questions if you are confused about. Say they didn't explain table flip, and you're like, well, I just want to make sure, so you can go and ask as well, and stuff like that.
And then they prep you for round one by getting on the another list out of all the names of who you're going to play your first round, and you're pretty much going to go and play your round out, and there'll be a clock started. You'll see the clock up on a giant stage, usually, or on a table. It's where the head judge is, and where you turn your slips in, and as you're playing, the judges will come put slips out, and you'll sign those slips for who won. And when you're done with your series, you go turn it into the head table, and then they calculate it with all the other people who've turned theirs in. And then once everybody's done with the round, they'll go ahead and start putting up the new pairings. It usually takes a while. So if you need to go use the restroom, you can. If you want to get a drink and it's within, like, say, the facility, like say there's a vending machine or even they're supplying drinks there, you can pick one up. By they supplying, I do mean like the convention hall. Something that has the concession there. It's not always guaranteed. Maybe
well, it depends where you're going. If you're going to a GP or WGP.
Well, I clarified that when I started talking about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed
and then also sometimes there's a like a, what do you call it? People who sell and buy cards.
vendors.
A vendor. And then there's a vendor there, and you can go check out what they're selling. Maybe if you have time between rounds and you want to sell them some cards, you can have them take a look at your binder or a box of cards you have and see what you can get for it.
Or like, especially like beforehand, like if you were making corrections to your deck list and you realize like, oh, I don't have 4 table flips, I only have 3 table flips. You can go to like a vendor early in the day and pick up like a card that you did.
And it's not always guaranteed to have the vendor, so you want to double check going into it. Sometimes, unfortunately, it may not just be known if there will be one. So if you're thinking about hauling a ton of cards, that's up to you. I usually just take one binder of cards I don't want, and then if there's a vendor there, I go turn it in. If not, just carry a small binder around with me for the rest of the day. You're going to go round by round, usually 7 to 9 rounds, depending on how many players show up. It could exceed that.
You'll have lunch break, right?
No.
They definitely have lunch breaks.
I think they do.
They definitely have lunch breaks. Like 9 rounds is like 9 hours.
Well, I guess because lately, just based on attendance, they've only been 7 rounds.
Oh.
And, right?
I'm pretty sure all the Magic GP.
I don't know what Colin's doing that he's sidetracked right now.
I'll tell you later, or I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like most of the Magic GPs and stuff have lunch breaks.
And I know Pokemon did, but I'm
pretty
pretty sure
I could have swore
because we would have never
Pokemon
had an
did.
issue of being hungry and Colin being mad at me and Collinsville for not bringing
Yeah,
food. So they don't do
that's
lunch
right.
breaks. You play straight through, which is another part of it, is to make sure you bring with you, like, say, some bottled water, bottled drink. I recommend water, and then some snacks, like some what do they call it?
Right.
Protein
Here-
bars or grain bars.
Listen, for Force of Will or stores running a WGPQ, start giving us lunch breaks.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that you don't want me there for more than 4 hours without food. I'll get mad and I'll start getting mad at Laura again, and no one's gonna be happy.
And sorry, Jay, just real quick. Some places, the reason why they skip the lunch break is because they'd rather finish this up quicker. They don't want to be here for that extra 30 minutes to an hour, or how long that lunch break takes to round up to even offer one.
Did we get a lunch break during the Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon always had the lunch breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
So
great
I guess
because we'd go to the
maybe it's
Pokemon
just
convention to the thing, and then we'd walk over to Taco Bell or something like that with a bunch of other players, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
So snacks, water, that's what you can expect. If you're doing really bad and you end up having a drop, you can just go up to the head judge and let them know that you're out. They'll remove your name from the roster so you're not paired up with anybody beyond that. You can head out if you want, or you can hang out and maybe play some fun games with some people who drop as well. They usually use a few tables in the back that aren't being used. And then sometimes if enough players have interest, they'll start firing off some like side events, like maybe win a box or promos or whatever they may have.
Make sure you get plenty of sleep the night before, and then try and get breakfast if you're not too queasy and stuff. Make sure you're healthy, hydrated, your mind's sharp, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's like adult stuff.
And I would say avoid things like energy drinks if you do that, because one, how often you'd have to use a restroom, or two, the crash. Like you drink it first thing in the morning, 3 hours in, you're dead, and you either drinking another one, or you just have a miserable rest of your day and your rounds don't go the way you want them to.
Yeah, like if you're actually going into this like try-harding and stuff, you want to be like, it's an endurance battle. You gotta like keep your mind sharp, like make sure you feed yourself well, and like it was pretty funny. We went to Disneyland like a month or two ago, and like I had like a backpack and like water and snacks and stuff, and I'd never like I was never the one that was doing that. My parents were always. So I was like man, I'm like such an adult right now. So you probably want like a backpack with maybe a couple waters with it, like some little energy, like Nature Valley bars and stuff like that.
So then
and
it fills you up, and then just look forward to being able to leave for the day and eat.
As a side note, I don't know if you mentioned this, but make sure you use different sleeves.
Oh yeah, I was going to get to that. I was going to cover that in a second.
Okay, you're doing it separate? Okay.
Before I get to that, I was going to say something else about this before you jumped in there.
Okay, I'll stop jumping in. All right, I'll be back in a bit.
Just stay consistent with what we're talking about, man.
You can't look at like other pieces of outside paper or like notes during the actual game, right?
So, no, you can't use electronic devices at all of any sort. So definitely bring a pen and pad with you to write down, and while you can keep notes for the match you're in. We'll have to double check that, but I don't believe you can carry those notes over and look at them again in another match.
You also can't like bring like your deck list or like how many X's you have in your deck. Like you can't bring any outside notes in, like that kind of stuff, I believe, into your matches. So like if you don't, if you're like, oh shoot, like how many Lorites do I have in here? Like did I put 3 or did I put 4? Probably put 4. But anyways, like you can't reference like a deck list you have. That's outside the game. And then make sure to keep track of your life and your opponent's life, because you want to keep like checking in and like, okay, I have you at 10, and then he's like, well, I have myself at 8, and it's like, oh, how did that happen? Or I have myself at 12.
Yeah. Another thing is dice and counters of different types. So you're going to want a randomizer, and you're going to want dice that you maybe that you're running machines that are of a different color or type to help keep track of those counters. In case you ever need that randomizer mid-game, you don't want to mix them up with what are actual counters.
Yeah, counters are a good idea. It's especially like you want a pad and like an actual life pad, because I know a lot of people, if they're at like casual events, they'll spin down dice, or they'll have like a little app tracker. Like, you want to make sure that you have, like, I really impress upon people, like, you need to make sure that you have like a pen and paper method. Hello? No, sorry. I think I downsized my screen. Like, you want to have like a record of like, okay, I have that you took 3 here, then you took 5, and then, I burned you for 7. That way, if like a judge comes over, there's a judge caller or something, like, you have a list, you have like a laundry list of like, this is the damage that I dealt, and and like he has like a little electronic thing, a little phone that he's been using, and it's like, well, I don't know any of that. So like, having a life pad is so much, it saves your life for like a bunch of stuff. Like, you have a little dice, like you get your dice knocked over.
I mean, they can't use a phone, period. You did the call judge over.
Right.
But Colin, you're saying about sleeves?
Yeah, so what I was saying was to make sure you do use different color sleeves. Color is the main thing for your stone deck, main deck, and rune deck. And that's mainly to avoid like making stuff like bear magic go into your stone deck, or especially there's a card. There's at least one card right now that destroys a magic stone, and so you got to put that in your graveyard, and so you're going to forget about that. I literally got someone at Prix and destroyed their magic stone, and they shuffled it into their deck. We start the next game, and they had it in there. I mean, it's just pre-release, so we just ignored them, but ignored it. But in an actual event, if that happened to you, you automatically lose that game just instantly.
Well, I think there's a point you can call it on yourself, and they can redo the game, but I don't know exactly.
It's up to the judge, and you're always going to want to call the judge over for any issues. Yeah. Don't ever correct something yourself that may have happened, like, oh, you didn't do this, so let's go back a step. Just call the judge over so they can make that proper change. Yeah. Because nothing you have to account for is if, say, your opponent missed something and you fix it and then continue the game. If that's something they've missed a lot, and then you call the judge over and they fixed it, and they already have the notes like, oh, you've missed that in your past 3 games, and they start giving warnings or any punishments to that player for forgetting so often and things like that. Or they could even be doing it strategically to help gain an advantage of some sort.
Yeah. There's really small like cheats some people do in like Magic and stuff that maybe people are carrying over into Force will.
Now overall, I do want to say we're not saying everybody's cheating. We're not saying that everybody's like a hardcore player who has it out for you or anything like that. Everybody's cool that I've faced. No, I haven't had anybody who was negative. I have had people who are very like what's the word where it's like word for word, like, what does this do? What does that do? I'm doing this. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And that's just where they are. It's nothing crazy, and everybody's been pretty cool so far. And I've had fun.
Yeah, and mistakes happen. Stuff happens sometimes. So, So what have you been doing, Colin?
I don't know. And now he's over here like, oh.
I've been trying to figure out how to sort videos by dislikes, and I figured it out. And I remembered you guys did a spoiler video where you asked everyone to dislike it because I wasn't on it. This was bugging me because I was like, I know there's a way to sort by dislikes, and it was bugging the crap out of me. So yeah, that is our most disliked one with 27 dislikes.
Nice, you guys followed through. Thank you.
If you have the chance, go back to that video and dislike it some more.
Yeah, just look at that. I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
Winds of Ominous Moon spoilers round 2. Pandas.
There you go.
And the next 2 kind of make sense, and then
what's the next 2?
They're both ones with J Ruler in it. They both have exactly 8 dislikes. It's probably the exact 8 but it's funny because one of them has 8 dislikes and 52 likes, and the other one has 8 dislikes and 15 likes, and that was our podcast we did.
I believe
that was That was when he left and predicted the game would die in 1 year, I believe.
Which we're so good.
So that's probably why. Yeah, we're coming up to that. Or no, I think we just now hit the 1 year mark from when we did this year. When? Oh no, February 6th. So we got a couple weeks left till we hit that 1 year mark.
Well,
so
let's see how the GP goes, Las Vegas, and then.
Yeah, if that GP kills it, well, I guess that's possible. We'll see, because we could have there's things that could happen there that could just like kill the game. Who knows?
Yeah. But anyways, talking about GPs, I think we covered it all. So that's
I think
what
so.
you
Sound
guys
like you
can
did.
expect.
If you guys have other advice, make sure to put.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you think we missed anything that you'd feel other people should know.
Do you guys think it's worth? Do you think this is pretty good? Should we have a separate video, kind of like the Sealed GP on? Maybe not as fancy as that one. I don't have time, but just us explain what to bring and stuff like that.
I actually don't think it would hurt. Like, so people don't have to sit through this entire podcast if they just want to hear that, or have to figure out where it started the conversation.
Yeah, they can figure it out.
Not that somebody won't comment it already.
Yeah.
What Colin needs to do is he needs to go through this video, edit out all those things into this one little blurb, put all of his fancy things into it, and then bam, we got it. We got a recipe. We got a stew.
Is it mass flare or mass?
All right, we'll see you guys on the mini podcast.
Oh, it was prismatic flame that I was thinking of. That also hits. Prismatic flame table flip. Yeah, that was my other option.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Mini podcast.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.